Welcome to my presentation. My name is Jeffrey Babbitt, and I will be talking about the virtual art of multiples. The reference librarian, I observed, is the head of reference at a suburban public library. She also works as a virtual reference librarian for OCLC. I observed her during 2 of her weekend shifts, on Saturday night and Sunday morning. On the weekends, students at many of the universities served by OCLC are scrambling to research and write papers that are due on Monday. In the traditional reference model, patrons queue up in a line behind the desk, each waiting until the one ahead is finished. In the virtual model, multiple patrons ask questions all at once, each believing she is first in line, expecting immediate answers. In theory, the new technology makes the patron's experience seamless, but in practice, special techniques must be used to manage multiple questions. Each patron has his own issues that need to be addressed. The reference librarian must detect clues as to where the patron is in terms of formulating his question, and what specific issues will arise. The patron may need help understanding the assignment and the terms used by the professor. She may not understand some of the real-world complications of addressing her information needs. Many foreign students may have additional language and culture-based issues that need special handling. Each individual request is hard enough, but in actual practice, questions rarely come one at a time. In order to deal with this effectively and give each patron an accurate, useful answer and satisfying experience, the reference librarian must practice the ancient art of juggling. To help understand one method of doing this, you need to know a bit about the question negotiation process. In 1968, Robert Taylor published an article about this process. Reportedly the most widely cited work in library and information science, the article is often referred to as simply Taylor 68. Many patrons will present at the second level of question negotiation, the conscious need. At this point, the patron needs to narrow her focus by talking to another person, in this case, the reference librarian. Let's revisit one of the questions from one of those last slides. This patron has a vague idea that he needs to do something in sociology. The first step is to get him to choose a broad topic in the field. Each question will take the patron a few moments to think through, and during that time, the reference librarian can check in with the other patrons, asking clarifying questions for them to think about in turn. The point is to lead the patron to the third level, the formative question, at which point the patron states what ideally he would like to know regardless of what information is available. At this point, the reference librarian can perform a search and present options that will help the patron narrow the question even further. This is extremely helpful for the reference librarian who has other patrons waiting, as it will take some time for this patron to skim through the proper articles and decide whether one of them meets his needs. Choosing from the available information assists the patron in reaching the final level of question negotiation, the compromise need. At this point, the patron is ready to prepare a specific question that can act as a provisional thesis and drive a productive search. And in the meantime, the reference librarian has had time to resolve some of the other patrons' questions. At this point, follow-up is needed so that the librarian can be certain that the patron is satisfied and confident that he can make use of the discovered information. Ideally, everyone walks away happy, and the librarian can mark this transaction successfully answered. Thank you for watching the Virtual Art of Multiples.